try on things in Zara, Topshop, please put your things back on the hanger. That helps out the workers there so much, guys. Like, hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. So this is my outfit of the day. I'm wearing my necklace, which I got from Matches Fashion. It's on sale at the moment. This is a pearl necklace I got from Queensland when I went to a market. My t-shirt is Loewe. I bought it secondhand and it has Dumbo on it and it says Loewe back here. I'm wearing my Hermes Picotin today in a Rose Extreme and it has a little horse charm on it. My shorts are very crumpled, but they're from Uniqlo, and my shoes are from Melissa and they are a Lazy Oaf collab. So they're kind of like that and they have like a little pink sole. So I thought it looks cute with my bag. So yeah, that's my outfit of the day. I wanted to be open about my experience I've had over the past, well, 10 to 12 years in retail. So I graduated high school and after that I did a course in fashion at uni. So I studied fashion design and technology and I did that for 3 years. At the same time, guys, I was trying to find a job because I didn't have one, and I started out working in hospitality. Worked in a few places actually, including an Italian restaurant for a while, and then I managed to get a job at Guess, which was kind of cool back then. And I absolutely loved working in retail compared to hospitality. It is honestly so much easier. Like, if you've never worked in retail or hospitality, I feel like at least everyone should try it because it's not easy, and short term you can do it, but long term it's actually quite mentally and physically challenging. I guess after so many years now, I am starting to reflect on what happened. I was about 20. I went on a trip to Paris with my school and I was exposed to like H&M, Zara, Topshop. These are brands that had never been in Australia previously. This was the first time I got to experience this kind of fast fashion. You know, when I was 20, we only had like Sports Girl, Dottie, JJ's, Maya. Like, they were the brands. And I always loved shopping. Like, I've always loved shopping, guys. Even, I didn't have any money, obviously, when I was in high school, but I always looked at like Sports Girl, JJ's. I was always just looking on the websites and I would never buy anything because I had no money, but I just always was curious by like new fashion and what was coming out. Getting a job in like a fast fashion store to me was like a dream back then. And I managed to land a job at Topshop when I came back from my trip to, I went to Paris and I was exposed to all this fast fashion and stuff. And in Australia, yeah, they were just launching Topshop. So I applied for it and I managed to get the job. And so I helped open the first store in Australia, which was on Chapel Street. And it was quite a massive thing back then because, as I said, in Australia, these kind of European brands and even US brands don't have like Forever 21. And there's a lot of stores we don't actually have. We don't have like River Island and I don't know, there's a lot of stores Australia doesn't have, but now we have the main ones. We've got Zara, H&M, you know, Topshop. Well, Topshop, no, but anyway, I'll get to that later, guys. When I started working at Topshop, like, my customer service skills weren't always the best. I'm a very shy person, and to force myself to be like this outgoing salesperson, I really had to transform myself into someone I'm not. I almost had to fake it till I made it, because I'm always like, during high school I was always a very insecure and shy person. I had a lot of acne. I did get a little bit teased, and I was just not the most confident person. I really enjoyed my own time. I was just very shy, basically. So then to be in this retail environment, I had to adapt and I had to be somebody kind of that I'm not and really come out of my shell and almost transform myself. So in order to cope with being this really extra exciting salesperson, which is, you'll notice in every retail store, the sales associates will act in a different way in every retail store, and that's got to do with their training. So at Topshop, you know, it was more of a young client, like a party lifestyle. you know, fun, fast fashion, like new trends. You know, the ambassadors were Alexa Chung, Kate Moss, you know, that party girl kind of cool chick. That's the kind of thing that I was wanting to aspire to be. For me in that store, I definitely transformed myself into this like pro sales associate, I would say. From being a really shy person, I honestly just thought in my head, what would a pro sales associate do? And I just became that kind of thing. And so I was really confident. I was pretty self-destructive, to be honest. I wouldn't eat and I would just drink black coffee all day. So I was like super hyperactive, which was very bad. And I would still party, and I was young, so I could kind of get away with it. I also changed my image. You know, I was like a raw vegan back then. I was drinking black coffee. I dyed my hair purple. I was like wearing black milk leggings. We weren't allowed to wear other brands until a few years later, but I was really addicted to black milk leggings and like Jeffrey Campbell's back then, guys. Like that was my look. And yeah, it was just I just transformed myself into this really weird alien girl, basically. And I kind of felt, working in retail after so many years, I turned into a bit of a robot. I think because they often liked me to be standing in the fitting room for hours on end and serving customers. I was really good at styling people and, like, I guess making connection with customers and adding on like UPT, like items per transaction, like adding on, like if they had jeans, I'd be like, oh my gosh, have you seen the new like little sneakers we just got in? And then like anything I was excited about, I would just want to show everyone, because guys, I can sell anything to myself, guys. That means I can sell anything to anyone. So anything that was just in the store for a long time, I would just fall in love with all of a sudden, and then I could sell it really easily. And this wasn't me being fake. I just, like, for some reason, I can just like convince anyone to buy something. I don't know. So yeah, I was often in the fitting room because I was good at it, and it definitely made me feel a little bit claustrophobic at times. And, you know, there were days where I would work very long shifts. At the start, I was a casual when I was at uni, but after uni, I ended up being full-time at Topshop. And it was, you know, I got addicted to fashion after that, guys. Like, I was spending so much of my money at Topshop. Every weekend I was going out in a new little Topshop play suit, and there's a lot to go into with Topshop. They kind of divide their store into zones. So there was zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4. And usually we had these walkie-talkies. So, you know, say I'm in the fitting room and I need to get a jean size, I'll be like zone 1, and then they'll like respond, and I'll be like, can I have a size 24 in the black Lee skinny kind of thing? And then they would bring it up, because we weren't allowed to physically leave our zone to prevent theft, and we wanted to have the whole floor covered. So there were times where you would be stuck in a zone for several hours at a time, and it got quite boring just being stuck in that one area. Whereas in other retail stores, you have the freedom to move around, and it's just a lot less, like, you don't feel like you're kind of restricted. Also, if you want to go to the bathroom, you really have to let everyone know. You can't just leave your zone. If your zone is left watched, you get into big trouble. So there were a lot of times at Topshop where I really needed to go to the bathroom and no one was covering for me. And there was one time where I was in zone 1 and I was like, guys, I need to go to the bathroom, and no one was responding, so I left the store because I needed to go to the bathroom. And then I got into big trouble for that, which I think was really unfair at the time. And that was a little bit later on. That was like 3 years in, when we started to get less staff. At the start of my employment at Topshop, there were like over 100 staff. And I was one of the really long-term people who kind of stayed for a while. There were people who stayed the whole time, but when I noticed after around 4 years how the company was going and they were expanding too much, also the stock was getting like, I feel like the buyers were not paying attention to what the market really wanted. Like, I feel like I could have been a fashion buyer there and understood what were the hot items, what they needed to buy more of, because we're always lacking in certain areas of the store. Like, I'm like, why didn't we order more of those black jeans? Or why didn't we order more of like that's on the website? Like, the website always had really cool stuff, which for some reason we wouldn't order. And we just had this really random stuff. So I feel like the fashion buyers there were not always hitting the mark. And that definitely affected the sales during the last few years that I worked there. Some days I would be in the fitting room all day. And, you know, when it was really hectic, like sales time, the fitting room would just get so messy. Like, people, they try on like, you know, 10 items at a time, and we have to give them a number, but they would never put their little, like, guys, if you try on things in Zara, Topshop, please put your things back on the hanger. That helps out the workers there so much, guys. Like, please put your things back on the hanger. Like, you don't understand how much that helps, because when you hand it to someone with the hangers all sticking out and like just a bundle of mess, it really makes it hard for us because we can't sort it out properly, and like, you're probably stabbing us with the coat hanger or something. So just be mindful of the sales associates that work there. Also, like, I would always get things like, people would make a complete mess and then say, oh, there you go, something for you to do. Like, things like that. Like, people would treat me like crap all the time, like talk down to me, like click at me, like be rude to me. That is like a cultural thing that happens sometimes. And I think when you work in retail, it definitely depends on what location you work in. Like, you're going to get different types of people coming in. Like, the store I worked in, there were either really rich people or just like drug addicts. So it was a really strange combination. But sometimes there was the odd like druggie that would be like really hilarious as well. So there were definitely some characters on the street. And also, I really enjoyed working in a big team and making a lot of friends. Like, I honestly made a few solid friends working there. And as I said, there was like 100 people who worked there at one point. So yeah, it's interesting to see like what they're doing now with their lives. Like, it's been like over 5 years. Some of them have gone on and had families. Some of them have become like, had really professional jobs. I've just been kind of stuck in retail, and yeah, I mean, working in retail, it's not easy, guys, and it definitely changed me physically and mentally. After I left Topshop, I definitely transformed again, and I started looking after myself a little bit more. I did kind of experience a lot of health issues after putting myself through so much, like, long hours and not drinking enough water, drinking too much coffee, wearing high heels every day. Like, I put myself through a lot, and when you're young, you can. And I didn't sleep much either. And I just, like, when I got to a certain point, like when I hit like 25, I was really burnt out for a while, and I now kind of try and take it a little bit easier on myself. So I would say, guys, when you're young and you're working in retail, that's when companies can really take advantage of you, and they can make you kind of do things to the extreme, because because you're young, you're very resilient. And I really did things the best I could when I worked at Topshop. Like, I would want to help every customer. I wasn't lazy. You know, I followed the rules. I was always buying new clothes because I wanted to look good all the time. And I loved working there for a while, but after a while, it just got very tiring, and I felt like I wasn't progressing in the company either. I wanted to work more in the personal styling suite, but that eventually got shut down because they didn't have the funds to have that anymore. But that was something I really enjoyed, being a stylist there. And like, I met a lot of celebrities as well, actually, who had the personal shopping suite experience. So it was really cool. Like, who did I meet? Like the Veronicas. One time Serena Williams came in. Like, a lot of people came in at Topshop, which is so random. I met more famous people at Topshop than any other place I've worked, and I've worked in a few luxury brands as well. So I'm going to get into my other places I've worked in upcoming videos, but I think I'll round it up for Topshop today. After working there for, 4.5 years, I decided to leave and try and break into high-end fashion. because I thought I would enjoy it more. I got really sick of the way that clothes were coming through at such a rapid pace, and just the quality of the clothes was sometimes not the best, and I just got really sick of that fast-paced environment as well, and how things were just, I don't know, things just kind of ended up looking like rubbish after a while. Like, my wardrobe was overflowing with Topshop and everything just looked outdated. Like, with fashion, I'm aware that, like, I like trends, but they really come and go so fast these days, guys, and like things can look quite dated really fast. So now these days I just buy stuff that I like. But anyways, let me know if you have any questions about working at Topshop. It did eventually close down in Australia about a year after I left, and now there is no Topshop in Australia, so it did dive. I definitely saw the glory days of Topshop at the beginning and the completely hyped up environment. Definitely opening a new store in Australia is something that I'll always remember. And yeah, anyway guys, let me know if you worked at Topshop as well. There were so many employees who worked at my store, and I would, you know, I really feel for people who work in retail because it is not easy, guys. And if you want to abuse someone who works in a store, then I'm just gonna say get a life, guys. Like, seriously. You know, a lot of people think working in retail is easy, but it's not obviously the hardest job, but long term it can actually be quite draining. So yeah, anyways, so yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!